Hello, YouTubing from the bedroom here. You guitar junkie. Do I know what I'm doing? With this. Yeah. I just wanted to get in a videotape so I would remember kind of the things I was throwing in. These are backing tracks that I stumble across. I just get bored and I just type in, blues, rock, fusion, jazz, backing tracks for guitar, that if I like the sound of it and I'm hearing something in my head already, I put it on my pedal, my loop, my RC, it's a Boss RC3 loop station pedal, and I turn it on and I just make something up. I hear it in my head and I try to get it out of my fingers. My daughter used to say fingers, that's why I said fingers. I know how to say fingers. So, and as I'm doing it, I'm like, that sounds pretty good. I know when I come back in tomorrow and I play this track, I'm going to say, what did I do yesterday? Because, that's what happens. So, yeah, same day, just throwing different stuff out there just so I don't forget. You see that? Yeah, right there. North Pole, Alaska. Yep. My wife and I drove from Florida through Canada all the way up to the North Pole of Alaska, where my daughter is stationed at the Air Force Base. The Air Force Base is like acres upon acres. They built the town around it. That's how big it is. And we drove all the way there, all the way through the United States, all the way through Canada, they had a lot of wildfires in Canada, so we were detoured almost every day. We would be on the road, and then all of a sudden we're like, okay, and it's giving us, ETA of what time we should be expected there. Then all of a sudden it would change, and we would add more hours, and I'm like, oh man, what's going on? And then as we're, like at a restaurant in Canada, we're going through the map, and the waitress would say, oh, knowing, I guess, from our accents that went out from Canada, where you guys going? We tell her, why is it red on this road? And she said, oh, that's a wildfire. They're evacuating the whole town. And I'm like, oh, great. So I kept on, we were supposed to go like right across, but it didn't happen. We went through North Dakota, which was like it's nothing there. Through the border, through Alaska, to Alaska, through Canada, and man, what a ride it was. I have to say one thing, gas in Canada, oh, what the hell was it? Yeah, gas in Canada was I think it was $1.50 a gallon. And when we got to Alaska, it was $4.55 a gallon. Yeah. So a lot of hills, a lot of majestic mountains with snow caps on it. We saw a lot of wild animals, wild horses right on the side of the road, wolverine, rams, fox, a giant wolf. If I could show you the length of this is like a full-size bed. The length of this bed was the length of how big the wolf was in Alaska. It was huge. I couldn't believe it. And Roadrunner, what else? I can't remember half the creatures we saw. Hundreds of dead deer. So I didn't want to drive at night. It gets dark about 9-10 o'clock at night there. So I didn't want to be driving at nighttime because I don't want to hit. I was driving my daughter's brand new Jeep that we bought her here in Florida there for her to use because she needs a vehicle in Alaska. No one said that she would. And I didn't want to wreck the car on the way up there because we saw hundreds of dead deer along the side of the road. We didn't see a moose, we didn't see a bear, but we saw everything else. It was crazy. And we saw where the fires were, and it was scary. It's, if you're on that road, it's a 2-lane road, and sometimes you can't see what's in front of you, and then when it's snowing out, you haven't got a clue, you're slowing down, and then you come across a bit of road and it's just all holes in the road, and you got to be careful because there's no spare tire in the Jeep. It's just a flat kit to fill it, and you don't want to hit these holes and blow a tire off the rim because you don't have no cell phone. You don't have any cell phone use up there. No one is around for hours, or you could see like 5 miles down the road, just one flat long road, and then it bends up going around the mountain. It was nerve-wracking to say the least, and it was crazy. And then gas, you gotta keep don't let the gas tank go under a half a tank. We're coming up on a gas station. I said to my wife, I'm on a half a tank. She looks up on the maps. Oh, 2 miles up the road is a gas station, or 8 miles up the road is a gas station. Let me go the 8 miles and just, keep on going and try to, fill it up then. We passed the gas station at 2 miles and we wave to it. We keep on going. We get to the one at 8 miles and it's closed. It's abandoned. We're like, what the? So we were like in panic mode. If you're driving on the road in Alaska and you blink, you'll pass a town. It says town coming up, and sometimes you got to make a left or right and go down a side road to get to the town. Sometimes you'll see like a little bit of buildings, something going on, and then again, like I said, if you blinked, you would pass it by. And she's like, oh, here's a place, here's a town here, make a left. Down a dirt road, a muddy dirt road, and I'm like, wow, this doesn't look too good. I was hearing the banjo from that one with the dueling guitars. Deliverance was going through my head, I'm like, oh, this doesn't look good. And my wife goes, oh, there's 2 pumps over there. I pull in. The 2 vintage pumps. They were so old, they were analog, where the numbers would flip, like Groundhog Day, where the clock would flip down. And I get out and I'm like, I don't think you can get gas from this thing here. And how do you pay? Where do you pay? So I get out, and there's a voice up, above me, and saying, what do you want? The guy is. I look over. There's a 20-foot ladder going up to this giant tank, white tank, and he's on top of it, standing with his arms like a gorilla, like he's in fight mode, ready to jump down and pounce on me. I said, I need gas. Can I get gas here? And he asked me, do you have a card? I'm like, I have a debit card. So he turns to the right and he starts talking. He does this. He goes, so he's talking in that direction. I don't know what the f- he's saying. So after he's done with that, he comes back and puts his arms like this again. And I just said, okay, hop in the car. I turn it on. I hit the gas, man, and I peel out of there. My wife's like, what are you doing? I says, we're getting the f- out of here because I think this guy's going to kill us and wear our skin. I was like that. And then I'm passing the car wash that you got to pull into the car wash the vehicle, and then pull back out to this dirty, muddy road. I'm like, what's the point of that? So, yeah, it was some crazy things. There was a lot of nice people, I gotta say, a lot of indigenous people that lived around there. They were like this was their life. They were always there until, settlers moved in. And super kind, super nice, super polite. And they were running restaurants and stuff like that. And you felt good that it still existed, it wasn't taken over, and not all of it became concrete and brick and mortar, you know what I mean? But it's still scary when you're driving and you're like, oh, there's a place. I think we should pull into that place. I don't need gas now, but let's just top it off and see what they have to eat, because it might be another 4 hours until we find another place to get something to eat. And yeah, we pretty much winged it. So yeah, I started with my shirt. That's what got me into the whole thing. I do apologize. I tend to go off onto a story or something like that. And so yeah, that's it. So if I could stop saying so and that would be great. Thanks for watching, everyone. Have a good day and a better tomorrow. Peace, love, and happiness.